Hey fellow designers, it's Karen of Karen Gwen Customs. Today we're learning to make this beautiful puff sleeve. It's a very quick, easy, and elegant addition to any garment. I do have a pattern available for this on my Etsy store, so make sure you download your copy if you don't want to DIY it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and turn this notification bell to all so you get notified every time I upload one of these helpful videos. Okay, so here are my two pattern pieces. First, we have a half circle skirt. This is going to be the puff of our sleeve. And then here is our sleeve piece right here. This is a size large from my jumpsuit pattern. Also is the same sleeve from my mermaid gown pattern. So if you have either one of those, you're good to go. So basically the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do 10 inches, and hopefully I don't have way too much puff, but I'm gonna do 10 inches below the top of the sleeve for where I want my puff seam to be. Then I'm going to take my half circle and take the side of it. So here's the side right here, and figure out where, because I want this to lay flat so it'll be easier to sew my seam. And I'm gonna place a pin here and do the same thing on the other side, because these are going to be my flat sides, and then everything from there to the inner circle will need to be gathered along this bottom edge. So I'm gonna find this center point here. And I'm gonna mark this. And then I'm gonna find the center of my sleeve and mark that as well, because I like everything to be symmetrical. And you're gonna start pinning, and actually you're gonna lay it this way so that we don't see that hem or seam right there. And we're gonna pin those centers together. And everything going back to this pin right here needs to be gathered along the straight edge of your sleeve. Like so, but you're gonna do it, just kind of eyeball it. And do it by hand. And if you need to go back and adjust, then do that. So after that's sewn, then this will go up the side like that. See? And once you sew it down, you're not going to see any ugly seam. You're just going to see a nice big puff. So now we're going to stitch this down with a nice straight stitch. And then we're going to be gathering the top so that we can make our puff. And I hope mine isn't like way too big. But yeah, that's what we are working with so far. So yeah, just a nice tight straight stitch all the way across. Make sure you don't have any other pins still stuck in here. Okay, so we have that sewn down. If you want to do some trimming, you can. It really doesn't matter because we're about to stuff this. We want it puffy anyways. Next, we're going to sew down these sides. And make sure those are flat and matched up. I wanted it to be completely flat, but I'm seeing I have to do a tiny bit of gathering right there. We're gonna sew that down flat. Same thing on the other side. I'm joining up these edges. That's almost perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna straight stitch this side and this side, and then we're gonna stuff, and then we're gonna pin. Yeah. So now we're gonna stuff the puff. I'm just gonna grab some tulle that I have left over from a previous project and stuff this, and then we're gonna pin it down and sew it shut. Okay, so I have a couple of like small remnants of red tulle that I'm just going to use to, I maybe only need one of these if this isn't too much. Make sure there's no pins in there. Okay. I'm just going to stuff this. And that might be enough on its own. Okay. So what I want to do is find the center of this circle edge here. So here's the center right here. And then find the center of the sleeve cap, which is here, because I want to meet those two. Luckily, this fabric has like a little bit of stiffness to it, so I don't think it'll be too difficult for it to like puff up and not look like flat and dead. But the tulle is definitely like a nice added touch. All right, so here it is. Puff, puff, puff. Hope it's puffy enough. And I'm going to be top stitching these gathers down. And yeah, and then the next step will be to sew the sleeve to the bodice. Okay, so I took half the stuffing out, and I'm really happy with how it is now because you can kind of like scrunch it down and then it just fills right back up with air. So I'm gonna go ahead and stitch this down, and then I won't need to touch it again until I'm ready to sew it to my dress. And there you have it, your very own DIY puff sleeve. You can scrunch it up and puff it back up like you want to, stuff with tulle. Very, very beautiful, elegant, classy addition to any dress or jumpsuit or whatever you want to do. And yeah, there you have it.